Okay, so today we will be seeing collections. Collections are something like data structures. We can say they're like data structures. Let me write a new note. So we can call data structures. When I say data structure, we can have. So we can have, so we can have set of data present under one name. So generally we have seen arrays, right? The same way, array is list. In an array you can put list of strings, you can put list of numbers, and then you can put a list of boolean values or list of decimals, etc., etc. So you can have all the list of strings, list of numbers, list of decimals. So this is an array. Array is, you can only have one single data type. One single data type means data type. That means you can either have list of only strings or list of only numbers or list of only decimals. So you cannot have combination. You cannot have a list of string plus list of numbers, or you cannot have a list of numbers plus decimals, or objects plus etc., etc. So you cannot have combinations. But there is and there are some things like for faster, sometimes some data structures you can easily fetch the data easily. Some data structures you can go and iterate easily. So there are each data structure, based on the necessity of how we need the data. Like if you're doing a Google search, right, there are a lot of data, and if you use some one structure of data, it will be easy for you to fetch the data. Or if you want to insert the data into a Google, or if you want to insert a video into something, so if you have one type of structure, then it will be easy. So there are a lot of structures, data structures, the way they are implemented, the way they are presented in the memory. So we can do either faster access of the data, means faster access means you can you can fetch the data easily, or either you can either you can insert the data easily. So if you want to insert the data, you can also do that easily. So you can query the data easily. So there are a lot of things that are dependent on data structures. Data structures itself is a big subject in computer science. So if you know of, but I'll just go into a simple data structures, what we need in Java and how we need it. Okay. So now if you see here the data structures we are going to see. um, So if you see in the data structures in Java, they came up with something called collections. Collections means collecting the data. Collecting the set of data is nothing but a collection. So in that, they have differentiated into three types. One is set, the other one is list, the other one is queue. But in the queue, I can also call it as map instead of calling it as queue. So it's a map. Okay. What is the list is nothing but the list of values. When I say list of values, names, right? List of names. So you have 10 names, it's a list of names, that's called list. If you see queue or map, both queue or map, they are like key value pairs. Key value pairs is like if you go to a dictionary, for each and every word you have a meaning, right? So each word you have a meaning. So that's why they call it as a map or a dictionary object. So so a lot of objects they call dictionary objects because you have a key value pairs. So queue is something first in first out, first in first out. So we are not currently using any queues, but if you want to use any queues, like you can also use queues. So set is something, it's kind of a list, name list only, but it doesn't accept duplicates. Means if you put two rams in a set, it will not accept, the set will not accept because it doesn't accept duplicates. List is something, it can also accept the duplicates, and it's a list of values. Map is something, it's a key value pair. So we'll mostly concentrate on list and map because in testing we'll be only using lists and maps. And then we don't use set also much, or queue is again we don't use much. So we will concentrate on list and maps. But there are a lot of different data types that you have seen here. A set is a data structure which is kind of a list, but it doesn't take duplicates. If you take off list, right, a list is something which can accept duplicates and a set of values. A queue is a structure which is first in first out. Whatever you insert first, it will send the first out. So that's kind of queue. A set, there are different types of sets in memory also, how they can represent, like hash set, linked set, tree set. So a lot of things we don't really know, wanted to understand until or unless you highly going into a productive Java development. We don't need to really understand. So a list can be converted into array list, vector, or linked list, or whatever it is. A map can be hash map, a hash table, or whatever it is. So but we will only concentrate on map and hash map. Map is an interface. When I say interface, yesterday we have seen, right, it's only a definition. Means it doesn't have any implementation. It is only telling that if you are telling this structure is map, like hash table is a map, then it should have a key value pair, like that. Okay. So in the same way, if you are telling it's a list, it should be an array list, or it should be a vector, or anything should follow all the rules of the list. The same way in the map, if it is any of these maps, then you have to follow all the rules of the map, because it's an interface. If you are telling it's an interface means it is only defining the structure. The implementation is done by either hash map, or tree map, or hash table, or linked hash map. So they'll do that. But I don't consider all these things. I'll only talk about hash map, because which is important. In the list, I'll only talk about array list, which is important. Set is also, which is not important for us. Set, the difference between a set and list is set will not take duplicates, list will take duplicates. That's the only difference between both of them. And the set, you cannot really read that. You cannot really read the data. You can write the data. It's easier to write the data using a set, but if you want to convert it, there is a lot of process. You don't really need to understand. So mostly you should understand the list and then the map. So again, I'm iterating. What is the list? The list is set of values, set of names, or set of anything, is a list. Or you can also have in the list, right, you can have a name, you can have a age of the person, like, or details of a person, name, age, etc., etc. You can have it in the list. A map is a key value pair. You have to give the key. Key is like first name. What is his first name? The name of the person. What is his last name? The name of the person. What is his age? You can have 21. So like that, key and a value you will have. For each key, you will have a value. So that is a map. The list is set of values. We will see how we can do that in using Eclipse. Okay. First, I'm trying to create a project, Java project, same way. So we are now going through collections. So let's go to the collections as a project. In the collections project, I'm creating new package com.test. The collection. So I've just created a package. Under the package, generally we create a class. So every day I'm repeating all these things because, guys, you will be at least comfortable in creating Java projects easily. So that's why I repeat every time, like creating a package, creating a structure every day, so that you easily know that, okay, we have to create a package, we have to create a class under the package. Under the class, we have either variables or functions, and those functions we can create objects, and those objects we can call. So that structure, I think by the time every day I'm repeating the same thing, because you will understand by now, okay, this is the structure that we have to follow at least to write Java programs. Okay. So now here I'm now working with list. So that's what we're going to see. So in the list, I'll just say, because if we want to write any logic, we have to create a function here in the class. So we're creating a class public void write to list. So when I say write to list, we have to write to the list. So a list is something already given by Java library. Means when I say a list is something which is coming from the library of Java. So Java, we have already some functions which are already written. So from those functions we are only getting list. So list, I'm saying a list of a person details. List is what list we are creating? We are creating a person details. So that is equal to new hash, new array list. Okay. So the both are coming from Java packages. We have to import the Java packages, import java.utility. So they are coming from java.utility. Array list is also coming from java.utility. So when I say import, the class that we are using currently here is present in this folder structure in Java. So Java, if you see, you have libraries here, right? You have a lot of libraries here. In that libraries, the class that you are using currently now is coming from Java folder. Under that you have a utility folder. Under that there is a class called array list. The same way, you have a Java folder. Under that you have a utility folder. Under that you have a list folder. So from there you are getting it. So you got these values. Okay. Now if you want to add some data to this data structure, now when I say data structure, it's a list of values, right? If you want to add something, you can say personal details dot add. You have an add, and you can add name of the person as the person first name. Okay, whatever, if you want to add, that's a first name. So when I say same thing, personal details dot add, you can also add last name. So you can also do personal details dot add age. Now age is 21. So if you have any questions, something like boolean value or whatever it is, so something, if you want to add boolean values like true or false, you can also add true or false here, true or false, by using true. So now if you see closely, we are sorry, we are adding true. So now if you see closely, we can add strings, we can add integers, we can add boolean values, we can add objects, we can add anything, pretty much anything. So if you see all these things, a collection can handle not only one data type, one data type that is getting added. You can add any type of data into a collection. Means we can add any type of data into the collection. So let's say we are testing an application called flight booking. Okay, we are testing an application to book a flight. So generally, what are our scenarios? We have to go and search for we need to give the flight details. Flight details means, or we need to give why or what details. I mean, like the details to book a flight. So what details we'll give to book a flight? We have to first search a flight, means search the destination or from destination and to destination. So we have to give all the details of the flight or the places, for example, and we have to give the person details, and we have to give the credit card info, and then we have to fill any other things extra, and then we have to fill all the data and we have to use it. So when I'm searching for the places, so you have to, when I'm searching for the places means the to destination, we have to give the from to, we have to give the dates, we have to give the class, business class or whatever it is. So there are a lot of different types of data that we wanted to send for a test case. So whenever we are testing it, we have to, whenever you are booking the flight also, you will give a lot of information to the website, right? The same thing when we are testing the site also, we have to give a lot of information to the website. So the website, that is nothing but the test data. The test data is something which we will go and provide to, in order to test some application. Like say if you are testing an Amazon application, what you have to give, you have to say that, okay, I need these 10 items to be buy, you have to buy these 10 items as a sample data. So what those 10 items, you can buy a camera, or you can buy something, you can buy a pen, you can buy something. So you're trying to buy some stuff first, and then you're trying to sample some data and try to buy it. So that data we have to provide, that is called test data. If you want to provide test data using Java, you can use collections as a good way to send the data. Collections can be a good way to send the data. So what you can do, you can give all the details, you can prepare the data, you can add to the collections, and wherever you want to fetch the data, means now you have written the data to this one, right? Wherever you want to fetch the data, you can also do that. How we can fetch the data? We can say person details, whatever the person details, you have added all the information now, right? Wherever you want, you can say person details dot, and then you can say get, and then you can say index 1. So then if you say index 1, right, you will get now first name. If I say 2, you will get last name. If I get 3, you will get 21. If you say this one 4, you will get true. So now whatever the data that you wanted to give, you can just give it like this, and then you can also read the data by using this. So now let me go and do a sys out here and see what data we are getting. So now we have created a class, we have created two functions, but if you want, in order to work with this class, we need to create a main method. So generally I'll create a main class where I can start the program. And in the main class, I'll create a main method to start the, that's starting point. So this is the starting point. Now, in order to work with this class, I need to create an instance of this class that is nothing but object. So I'll just create an object working with list is equal to w is equal to new working with list. So I've created an object and I'll say w dot. First I have to add the details. So if I want to add the details, I have to say add something. So where I've created the function, what is the function that I've created? I've created write to list. So first I'll call w dot write to list, means first of all it will start adding the data, and then the second one is I'm trying to read the data, that is nothing but get data. Where is that thing? Fetch data. So first thing that I've done is I've created an object, means that I made a copy of this class, and then from that copy I'm just trying to read write whatever the data that it is trying to write, and then I'm trying to fetch the data whatever I wanted to fetch. Now let's go and run this function. Right click, run as Java application, and click on OK button. So now if you see, we are getting the last name because the one is the second one. So it starts from 0. So first name is 0, this one is 1, this is 2, this is 3. But generally, right, the array list or the list will be more helpful when you have a repeated values. Like if you have a list of names, if you have a list of like if you've seen the array, right, you have a list of names or list of students or list of anything, because you can iterate, you can use a for loop and iterate and get the data because it is storing using indexes. So the data in the list is stored in indexes. Indexes means positions. So it has first position or second position. So based on the positions, it's storing the data. So either in the first position, so currently in the 0th position, it has stored first name, and in the first position, it has stored the last name, and then in the second position, it has stored 21, and in the third position, it has stored true. So, but the difference between an array and this one is it is storing different types of data types. Like this is a string, this is an integer, this is a boolean value, so it is storing something. So that's how it stored the data in the memory. The name of the variable is personal details, and if you want to fetch the data, you have to give the index. What index? If you want the second number, you have to give index 1. If you want to get the first one, you have to give 0. If you want to get something else, you have to give the name of the index. So that's how the array list will work. List and array list will work. A list is collection of a data in a sequential fashion, in an indexing fashion. So means it is having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the memory location. And if you want to pick from the 0th location, you can pick from that. If you want to pick from first location, you can pick whatever you want. You can pick from the second location, third location. The difference between an array and array list is, so in an array, you can only have similar structure and similar type of single data, means either strings or anything. Here you can have a combination of data, means you can have either strings or you can either have anything. And the other big difference in array and array list is, in an array, you have to tell the size. Means you have to tell whether the array is of size 3 or size 4 or etc etc. You have to define the size. But in array list is dynamic. You don't need to define size. It automatically increases whenever you start the data. So this is dynamic. So it automatically increases the size. So that is another big difference between array list and an array. So because now if you see here, we have not defined. Whenever we used to define an array, we used to do like this, right? So string array str is equal to new string array of 3. When I say 3, you are telling the size of the array, right? You are telling like the length is 3. It can only store 3 values. But in an array list or in the collections, we are not telling the list. It's dynamic. You can add whatever the values that you wanted to add. You can also change. You can also delete whatever you want. So it's completely dynamic. The way you wanted to use it, you can use it. So that's how array list is really helpful, because it is too dynamic in the sense you can have a lot of different ways of storing the data. Okay, any questions, guys? This is like array list. Any questions? Kavita, Rajshekhar?
No, okay, brother.
Okay, so let's go to the map. This is another data structure which is called map. Okay, so
Bharat?
if you are working with maps, the same way we have two functions, the same thing, like I'll create two functions: public void write to map and read
Bharat,
from. Yeah, Raj.
uh, can we create references for list? Reference object for list?
A reference object for.
List.
So this is the reference
List.
object, right? The personal details itself is the reference object. See see array list is a class. For that, we have created a reference object called personal details. In the memory, now we created a new array list. That is, the name of the array list is personal details. And in that personal details, where by the name personal details means we have created a memory set of memory. In that, we have given 0, 1, 2, 3 locations. A personal details is just a reference. The name is just a reference. In the memory, you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I call personal details, you are calling from 0 to 10. All the memory locations that it has, you are calling all those things. So when I added the data to the personal details, you have added 4 values. Now what this personal details has in the memory, if you think in visualization manner, it has 0, 1, 2, 3 locations. In the 0th location, it has first name, it has first, second location it has, but it is dynamic. You can add a number of things, but currently, whatever you are asking for is 4 values, and then 4 values are stored in 4 different locations. Now when you are trying to fetch it, you are trying to fetch one location from out of that is nothing but the last name, and then it will go and fetch in that rack. It will go and fetch the first, second one, and it will pull the data and give it to you. But what is the reference for all these things? By what name we are calling all these things? Using a name called personal details. Got it?
Yeah, okay, Bharat.
Yeah. See, any class, either it is created by Java or either it is created by us, The reference object is, when I say new, right, the one that we are using here is the reference object. So when I go here to the main class, the reference object for working with list is W. This W means it has created a structure in the memory for this class called working with list. Means it has created a copy of that class and it has created a memory location for working with list. So the reference, how it is stored under the name of under W. So the same thing in Java, either if you're working with the classes that are present, that are given by Java, or if you're working with the classes that you are using, so but generally we create a reference for any class. Here we are creating for an existing class that is coming from Java. Here we are creating a class that we are creating a reference for something which we have created, means custom. We have created a custom class, not the class that is given by Java. We have created our own class, and for that we created a reference object that is called W, and the functions we are using W dot this one, W dot this one. In the similar fashion, in the list also, the array list has couple of functions. What are those functions? It has add function, it has get function. All those functions are already present in the class called array list. When we created a reference for the personal details, so all the functions got to the personal details, and personal details dot add means we are calling the functions of array list, because the array list is the base design. From the in the design it has add functions, get functions, and everything. So from there you are getting all this information. Okay, you have to just visualize that. Okay, Raja.
Yeah, okay, okay, Bharat.
Yeah, the same thing goes with map, guys. So map is the same thing. So public void, write to map, first one. And then the same thing we are doing, creating one more function, public void read from map. Okay, so write from map and write to map and read from map. Okay, so I'll just give a small word here. So a map is created like this: map m is equal to new hash map. So why we are creating map m equal to new hash map is because m is an interface. That interface is implemented by hash map, means all the methods that are defined here is implemented here. So the in the map it doesn't have any, it has only definition, it doesn't have any implementation. All the implementation of map is done here. So that's why we are creating an interface. The object type is of what, like interface, but you are calling the interface from a class called hash map. So when I say hash map, all the methods that were given as a definition here are implemented in the hash map. So, but where are these classes coming from? These are already present in the Java. So we are not creating any new. It's already coming from Java, from the Java library. So I'm importing from the Java library. So I've added it. Now in the whenever I'm adding the data to the map, I will say m dot. You have to use, instead of add, we have to use put. So it has key value pairs, right? You can say first name as a key, and the value is, you can say Bharat. So it's a key value pair. Okay. And if I say m dot put, what is the last name I have to put? Okay, last name. And what is the value that I have to put? I have to say last name Sannadi. Okay. So this is how it's a key value pair. Means it has a key, it has a value. Whenever you're using the data, either you can use a list or you can use a map. You don't need to use both. Okay, either you can use a list or a map. uh, if you ask me, the best practice that I would say is, instead of list also I would go with map, because you will really understand, okay, this is first name and the value is this one, and this is the last name and the value is this one. And if you want to read the data, you can read the data like this. I'm just printing out the data. If you want to read the data, you can read the data like m dot get. And when you're getting the data, you should give the key. So you should give the key called first name. When you give the key called first name, it will get the value that is called Bharat. So let's go and test this one. So now that we have created a class, we have to create an object for this class. So now let's go and create the object for this class, which is called working with map. So and then I'll create working with map here. Working with map wm is equal to new working with map. So and we can say wm dot. So I can say first of all write to map, and then I can say wm dot read from map. And then if I go and run this right now and click on OK, so it see here first one is last name. That is because we are doing this one. We have not commented it. So you can also comment these lines. Means you are not making them not usable. Okay, the Java will not take these whatever the lines that you have commented. Java will not read those. Now if you go and run and click on save and run, now you see only Bharat. Why you are seeing only Bharat? Now you are only calling the map. So in the map, we have added the values. The values are like we are adding the first name and we are adding the last name. I mean, we are adding the value as last name as Bharat. The last name is the value. We are adding Sannadi as the this thing. The same way, you can also put m dot put. You can give age, age of the person, and you can give 21. It's an integer. You can give integer also. So you can also say m dot put is he a Asian? So it's a key, okay, and then you can say true or false. So all the data that you wanted to pass using anything, you can pass it by using a collection which has a key value pair. So you have a key that is here, you have a value that is here. Now if you call m dot get is he a Asian, then you'll get true. So like that, I mean, um, so this is how it works. So this is a map takes key value pairs. So and then if you call the map and say get by key, so it will give you the value. So that's how it works. This is one of the important thing that you need to see in the collections. So as I've said before, in the collections, you have a lot of different types. You have set, you have list, you have queue, you have hash set. Some of them, if you think of Java, right? Java is coming from 1.0. Currently, we are using 1.8 version of Java. So when they started the Java, they used to use vector queue and all those priority queues and stuff. Now most of them has been consolidated. Now some of them they are using and some of them they are not using. Mainly people are using lists and maps. In that list and map also people are using list with array list and map with hash map. So these two are important: map with hash map and list with array list. Others I don't really consider because we are not developers as such. We are only doing testing, and in testing we need to only get the data to do our test cases, and these sets of data is enough for us to have. So you just learn the map and this thing, this will be enough. Okay. So other type that I can not say something which is different, but something you can understand is we have something called enum, which is enumeration data type, data structure. So you can directly see here it's a enum. This is another data structure enum. Generally, if you want to define set of constants, like say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, etc. So, or you have to give January to December set of constants, right? You can give enums. Like say in credit card, you are only accepting three credit cards: Visa, and then or you're accepting only Visa, Master, and like say you are only accepting PayPal. So here you can say you are accepting Master, comma Visa, comma PayPal. So no other things are getting accepted. So these three are the constants that you accept. So then you can define an enum type and you can give the list of constants. So if you want to provide any list of constants, you can use enums. Constants means they will not change. So list of constants if you want to provide, so then you can use enum type. How to call an enum? You can call enum name, that is nothing but enum type is the name, right? We have whatever we have given enum type. If I say dot, right, you will get all the constants: Master, PayPal, Visa. But what happens here is it will limit your options. It will not tell. Now if you give only these options, it will only take these options: Master, PayPal, and Visa. So if you want to give at any time a list of constants that you wanted to give, like say January to February, or January to December, or Monday to Sunday, or anything pretty much, Sunday to Saturday, or any pretty much anything that you wanted to give as a constants, a set of constants, then you can use something called enum in Java. So the enum, you cannot, once you define some constants in enum, you can only go with those constants. And if you want to add more constants, you have to come to the enum and add the constants. So anything that you wanted to do a setup for a fixed set of a data, then you can also use enums in Java. You can also do a lot of things with enums, but I don't really want to go through complete enums and see how you have to work on enums and stuff. But enum is a very good thing to define a list of constants. In final, you are only defining one constant, right? But if you want to define a list of constants, then you can use enum type. If you want to give one constant, then you can use a keyword called final. Yesterday we have seen it. So if you use final, then it will become a constant. But if you want to give a list of constants, like three or four constants or five or six constants, then you can use enums. Okay. Enum is also a data structure which can store a set of values. That set of values are nothing but those are all constants. Okay. So these are all different data structures that you can use. There are some things that I want you guys to fill in now. So I'll send you one assignment, and then there are some things that I wanted you to do. Okay, just note down what you have to do. So I'll just put it here. So you create a text file. This is all assignments, guys. So create a text file and use Java methods to read the data and write the data. Means you have to read the data from the text file and you have to write the data to the text file. Okay, this is one thing. One assignment. Okay, first assignment. The first assignment is creating a text file and then use the Java methods to read the data from the text file and write the data to the text file. So this is one assignment number one. The assignment number two is there is something called properties in Java. So it's also a data structure. So you can define data in an external file called properties. So I also want you to create a property file read the data from the property file, and write the data to the property file. So this is another assignment. Okay, so the first assignment is this one. The assignment number one is you have to use a text file, general text file, and you have to read the data from the text file and write the data to the text file. That is first assignment. The second assignment is you have to create a property file in Java, and then you have to read the data from that and then the write to data from that. It will not take more time, but please go and investigate how to do, and then just do a lot of practice. So for practice purposes, I'm just giving it. I will also send one more assignment based on. I will also send one more assignment for inheritance, and I will provide the solution also in a separate file. But please don't look at the solution, and just go ahead and first do the problem, and then go and look at the solution. Okay, so but that I'll send that whole assignment. It's creating a banking system, creating a small ATM system using Java. So this is the third assignment you will get. So please complete these assignments, all three assignments. It will be very good if you complete all these three assignments, and then practice a lot of different assignments, like you know. So you can also try to do something like how to reverse a string in Java, or how to switch data between two arrays, how to switch data between two arrays without using temporary variable. Okay, okay. And if you see questions, right, in Java, mostly if you are looking for questions in Java, you will get questions around what is inheritance, what is interfaces, so what is abstract classes. So you can also see what is constructor, why do we use it. So what is difference between overloading and overriding. Uh, what is collections? Why do we use collections? What is the difference between collections and arrays? Uh, then what is JDK? What is JVM? Java Virtual Machine? What is just-in-time compiler? Git? So you will get all these, some of the questions around that. Um, then how to do exception handling in Java. Then yeah, mostly these. If there is any other questions, I'll also post in my site. Um, so please go through these things and just try to do all these assignments. How to reverse a string, how to switch data, and then I'll have something on inheritance and stuff. If possible, from start tomorrow. I mean, I'm done with Java classes. Tomorrow onwards, we'll start Selenium classes. We'll be mostly doing the same similar fashion, but we will go into more automation. This is only the base for automation because we need to know the Java language to do the automation of Selenium. So now that we have understood the Java, how to create a project, how to create all the classes, so from the next class onwards, we'll go ahead and try to create a Selenium, and how to work with Selenium and how to do automation using Selenium. We'll understand from the next classes. Any questions, guys? Otherwise, I'll stop this class and tomorrow onwards we'll start Selenium. Okay. Any questions, Raja?
No, no, Bharat.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I'll upload this file and then tomorrow onwards we'll start Selenium and we'll look into the Selenium. Okay. Any questions, Pragna, Kavita? Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Cool, guys. Yeah.